This is not just a comeback story. This is the moment a player announces himself to the Premier League. Because Florian Wirtz is not easing into English football anymore. He's not learning. He's not adapting. He's taking over. From the very first touch, you can feel it. The confidence, the calm, the intent. Every time he receives the ball, something is about to happen, not because of speed or power, but because he already knows the answer before the question is asked. And before we go any further, this is the first video on the channel, so if you enjoy deep football analysis like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe right now. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Now let me ask you something. Is Florian Wirtz already becoming Liverpool's most important player? Drop your answer in the comments. Goals matter. Assists matter. But Wirtz is about something deeper. It's about how he controls minutes, how he slows chaos, how he creates order inside pressure. Liverpool didn't just sign a footballer, they signed a brain. And recently, that brain has started to fully wake up. Barnsley, Fulham, Wolves, Tottenham. Different opponents, different situations, same outcome, influence. Because when Liverpool need rhythm, he appears. When they need imagination, he demands the ball. When the game feels stuck, he becomes the solution. This isn't coincidence anymore. This is a pattern forming. One of the biggest misconceptions about Florian Wirtz was simple. People thought the Premier League would break him. Too physical, too aggressive, too intense. But look at him now. Stronger shoulders, better balance, sharper movements under contact. You can see the gym work in every duel. He no longer bounces off defenders. He absorbs them. He protects the ball, rides challenges, and still keeps control in the tightest areas. This isn't raw talent anymore. This is talent reinforced by structure. The Premier League doesn't reward elegance alone. It demands resistance, and Wirtz has built exactly that. After arriving, his early performances were flashes, moments of brilliance without consistency. Now, the consistency is arriving. 4 goals, 7 assists. But honestly, those numbers barely scratch the surface. Because the real change is happening between matches, not inside highlight reels. He's demanding the ball more. He's positioning himself centrally more often. He's becoming the reference point. Match by match, Liverpool are trusting him with responsibility. And that trust is everything. When players start looking for you under pressure, it means the dressing room believes. When midfielders turn before receiving just to find you, it means authority is forming. Wirtz is no longer a luxury player. He's becoming necessary. And that's the moment a footballer truly arrives. If there's one area where Wirtz separates himself, it's vision. Not flashy vision. Not risky for the sake of it passes, but intelligent vision. This season, he's already creating more chances from open play than some of the league's most established creators. More than players who've lived in this league for years. That's not adaptation. That's dominance beginning to form. He sees passing lanes before defenders sense danger. He understands angles instinctively. He knows when to speed the game up and when to freeze it. That control is rare. One touch to calm, one touch to explode. And what makes it even more dangerous is how little space he needs. A half yard is enough. A moment of hesitation is enough. Because once he turns, defensive shape collapses. Liverpool have long dominated territory. They control games. They camp in the final third. But control without incision means nothing. And this is exactly where Wirtz becomes priceless. He turns possession into purpose. Not every pass leads to a chance, but every chance begins with his idea. That's why his influence keeps growing, even in matches where he doesn't score. Because he's shaping outcomes before the shot even happens. Tactically, the biggest shift has been his positioning. Wirtz is no longer locked between the lines. He drifts. He drops. He floats. Sometimes he receives deep to connect play. Sometimes he arrives late into the box. Sometimes he appears wide, dragging defenders out of structure. This freedom is deliberate. Liverpool are trying to unlock something bigger. The challenge? Balance. Because fitting Wirtz, Salah, and a central striker into the same attacking rhythm isn't simple, but when it works, it's terrifying. Wirtz connects phases that used to feel disconnected. Defense to midfield. Midfield to attack. He becomes the bridge. That's why teammates are finding him more often. That's why his touches in the final third have increased dramatically. That's why Liverpool's shape now bends around his movement. He doesn't stay still long enough to be marked, and that's exactly the problem for defenders. You can't track whatever settles. What truly defines elite attackers isn't finishing. It's timing. Wirtz doesn't run blindly into space. He creates it first, then attacks it. He pulls defenders wide, then darts central. He waits until centre-backs step forward, then accelerates behind them. Against Wolves, the movement was perfect. Pinned to the last defender. Patience. Then one sharp separation. Goal. Against Fulham, the same story. Between two defenders. Instant recognition. Clean finish. These aren't accidents. They're repetitions of intelligence. Even when goals are credited as own goals or deflections, the pattern remains the same. He arrives at the right moment, again and again. That's football IQ at the highest level. Despite all this, criticism followed him. Too early, too harsh, too simplistic. The narrative claimed he disrupted Liverpool's balance. But matches like Burnley exposed the truth. Liverpool dominated possession. The opponent sat deep. The game slowed. And still, Wirtz tried to take responsibility. He demanded the ball. He tried to increase tempo. He attempted solutions. The problem wasn't him. It was movement ahead of him. Creativity cannot survive in isolation. Without runners, without chaos, without vertical threat, even the smartest player needs structure around him. Wirtz wasn't failing. He was warning. A sign that dominance without penetration means nothing. And yet, even inside frustration, he produced clarity. A sharp strike cutting through the block. Elite players don't disappear in chaos. They search for answers. Now something has changed. You can feel it. Wirtz looks settled, comfortable, confident. The touches are cleaner. The decisions quicker. The body language stronger. He's no longer reacting to the Premier League. He's imposing himself on it. His partnership with the striker is beginning to form naturally. One drops, one stretches, one connects, one attacks space. Suddenly, Liverpool's future feels clearer, even if the present still feels heavy. Right now, Florian Wirtz is Liverpool's brightest light. He takes responsibility when others hesitate. He demands the ball when games slow. He tries to fix problems instead of hiding from them. And if this influence continues to spread, the league will soon understand exactly why Liverpool were willing to pay everything to bring him here. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, especially since this is just the beginning. More deep analysis is coming, because Florian Wirtz isn't done yet. And honestly, the Premier League is only just starting to feel him.